Hi everyone, welcome to the next edition of Trades Toolbox with Speare. This is the 5th video in our Google My Business series. Today we're talking all about reviews and how you can get them, where to find them, how to reply, and how to deal with those annoying fake reviews. So we'll get straight into it, let's go. So before we dive into Google My Business reviews and how you can access them and reply to them, I thought I'd just share some stats as to why reviews are important. So we found that 90% of consumers used the internet to find local business in the last year. And of those, 82% of those consumers read online reviews for the local businesses before even thinking about engaging them. Most consumers were reading at least 10 reviews before feeling that they were able to even begin to trust a business, and only 53% of them would consider using a business with anything less than 4 stars. Now, that all adds up to the average consumer spending nearly 15 minutes reading reviews before even considering looking at a business and using their services. And among all of those people who read reviews, at least 97% of them were reading businesses' responses to reviews. Now, if you're not responding to reviews, you're missing out on a trick there. That's 97. Almost everyone reads responses to reviews. Okay, so here we are on your Google My Business home screen. So to access your reviews, it's really straightforward. All that you need to do is go over to the menu on the left-hand side and simply click Reviews. Now these are our recent reviews for Speare, and here you can see the list of reviews. You've got 3 different tabs. You can see all of them, the reviews that you've replied to, and the reviews that you haven't replied to yet. Now we strongly recommend that you reply to all your reviews, but we'll cover more of that later in this video. Each time you get a review, it'll pop up here, and you can see who the review is from, your review rating, when it was done, and you can read the whole review. Now when it comes to wanting to send out your Google My Business link to get reviews, there's a really straightforward way to get the link rather than copying and pasting one of these really long URLs at the top, which would be impossible for anyone just to copy down. Instead, what we're going to do is we'll go to the home screen, and somewhere on the home screen, if you begin to just scroll down slightly, there will be a small tab which says Get More Reviews, share your business profile and get new reviews from customers. All you have to do is click the share review form, and it will pull up a shorter https etc. google.page/your company name/review. All you then need to do is click in here and copy it. It automatically copies it as soon as you click in it, but you have the benefit of being able to click this button to share it on Facebook, click this button to send someone a WhatsApp message, click this button to share on Twitter, or you can share via email, making it really easy to share. When it comes to the time when you want to reply to reviews, it's a very straightforward process again. On the left-hand side of the screen, just click Reviews, and as we saw earlier, you've got the reviews which you have or haven't replied to. To reply to, we've got some old reviews here which we'll use, so to reply to them, all you have to do is click this button, Reply, and then you can type in your response. Now, it's in this instance where we want to think about what service we provided and the type of things that people are typing into Google to find your business. These are the key words that we want to use. So if we go back to this review here, we've got a review from Craig Buckley. He had a website built and they were brilliant. Thanks very much, Craig. Every step of the website being built, he's mentioned website a few times, tradesman looking for a website. So we can see that Craig had a website built by Speare. So in our response, we want to be using that phrase website or websites for trades, for instance. So here we can see we've put, thanks Craig, it was a pleasure working with you and I'm really pleased we were able to get your website built and up and running for you. Appreciate you recommending our websites for trades as well. Now that means that when people were to search for websites for trades or websites in our local area, hopefully our listing would begin to show. That's not to say that you should stuff keywords into every single response, because otherwise that begins to look a bit like spam. So here we can see another review from Tracy McCarthy. Tracy was a bit more brief in her response and just put great customer service. So we've been just as brief in our response, in our reply, and we've put many thanks Tracy. That's all you need to do in those instances. It wouldn't have been good practice for us to then say Many thanks, Tracy. We enjoyed working with you on your website or on your SEO and so on. If you were to be working as a trade and you were to say, thank you very much, we enjoyed working with you for your boiler installation, for instance, or we enjoyed decorating the front of your house, that wouldn't work in this instance. You can, of course, do it, but from a Google point of view, we don't want to do that too often. Otherwise, it looks like we are trying to find a way around the system, as it were. There are going to be lots of different ways which you'll be able to ask for a review, and lots of different times when it might be the right time to ask for a review. I think each business is different, but we thought it would be a good idea just to give you some ideas to get the ball rolling. Now, one of the main ways in which you're going to be asking for a review will be through a follow-up call or a follow-up email. This will be after the job is done. We would highly recommend that you don't leave it too long after the job is done though, because people will simply have moved on and they'll forget and they just quite simply won't be bothered to follow through. When you call, let them know where you'd like to be reviewed, be that Google in this instance or Facebook, and in an email, even better, copy that link and put it in the email. Make it as simple as possible for people to review you. Another way will be to actually ask on the invoice itself. Say that you really appreciate reviews, it helps your business grow and to learn, and you'll be able to, especially if you're sending the invoice electronically, have that link on there again. We'd also recommend that you ask at this point because people are still engaged with your company. Now, the final way which we recommend asking is a slightly more complicated way, which is through a QR code scan. Now, this might seem way over the top, but it's actually incredibly simple. There are websites out there which will create QR codes for you in an instant just by copying that link to create a review and posting it in there. We did this one for Speare, and if you were to scan it with your camera, and the vast majority of camera phones now do this, it will take you straight to the website. All you have to do is open the camera app, hold it over there and scan it. Now, if you were to have this made up, for instance, on the back of a business card, or simply just on your phone or on a sheet of paper that you carry around, it means that customers would be able to review you right there and then. We'll put a link to the QR code creator in the description of this video below. Okay, so now in the final part of this video, we're going to talk about fake reviews. Fake reviews are incredibly annoying, but there are ways for you to deal with them. The very first way to deal with them is to respond to them. Respond to them in a calm, collected, professional way, especially if you think it's a completely fake review, which is probably left by someone with no real interest in your business at all, apart from potentially sabotaging it. So the way to deal with that is to simply write a response which says, "Dear sir, madam, we have no record of dealing with you or providing any service to your company whatsoever." Simply leaving that as a reply will show to other potential customers that you've engaged with them and that you have responded. If you don't do this, then the people who are looking at your Google My Business listing might be left wondering whether or not this is in fact a real review. There is another way of dealing with it, which is going to involve us going through a slightly lengthy process with Google itself. We'll have a look at that now. Now, the actual reporting of the review process isn't actually that long at all. In fact, all you need to do is go into the review. Let's say that in this instance, Craig's review was actually a false review. This would probably be a 1-star review. All we have to do is over here, we've got the 3 dots. We click this, there's only one option and it's flag as inappropriate. Google will pop up and say, due to high demand, expect delays in processing of your flag/request. Please don't flag the same review twice. Only reviews that violate Google's content policy can be reported. Reviews that are negative or you disagree with but adhere to the policy won't be removed. Now, you can still, even though that says they might not be reviewed, if you claim that they are completely fake and not relevant, that is an option which you should take. So we click continue and it pulls through. It just says what's wrong with this review. The option that you want here is that this review is not relevant to this place, and you click report. You may then have to put in some extra information and you will choose whether or not you want to get in touch via email or phone. Google will take their time to respond to you because they are dealing with literally hundreds of thousands of requests every single day. It may take weeks, but eventually they will get round to sorting it out. It's always quicker if you phone them. I highly recommend that you do this if you're given the option, because you get to speak to a real person who will actually action it quickly. And we've even heard that some trades have been able to get fake reviews pulled down off of their Google My Business page in a matter of days. Take the time to go through and check each of your reviews. If you find a fake one, definitely report it. Okay, so in that episode of Trades Toolbox from Shake and Speare, we have learnt where to find your reviews, learnt how to respond to them, and even how to deal with fake reviews. We hope you've enjoyed it. Looking forward to seeing you on the next edition of Trades Toolbox, where we'll look at where you can get citations for your Google My Business listing to help it really climb up the rankings. Looking forward to seeing you then. Bye bye.